Welcome to Valley Unitarian Universalist Congregation. And thank you for being here, and for those of you who are online watching our services today. We congregate together in many ways. We congregate in person, we congregate at protests, but coming together on Sunday is a way we build our community. So thank you for being here today. We occasionally have visitors, almost always have visitors who are here for the first time. If you are here for the first time or coming back after a long time, if you are brave enough to stand, wave your hand, we'd like to have an opportunity to welcome you. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Hi. Hi. For those of you who are interested, we have a welcome circle after the service so you can learn more about Unitarian Universalism and also about Valley Unitarian Universalist Congregation. We also have members and friends who are watching online, some who come occasionally, some who come frequently, but sometimes view the services online when it's convenient for them or they have reasons why they can't be here. If we could wave to, I think it's this camera over here, to let them know that we acknowledge them and thank them for being here also. This Sunday, pastoral care will be provided by Carl Anderson. Hi, Carl. Carl's here available for pastoral care after the services. And Melissa Bush, our friend and member, is online. They will be responsible for pastoral care for the following week. You can contact the lay pastoral group at any time at pastoralcare@vuu.org. So if any of you need somebody to listen to you, some help with anything that you are struggling with, please contact pastoral care. We also have a Caring Neighbors group. Caring Neighbors works to foster a loving and caring community in which VUU members and friends nurture, support, and assist each other through life's joys and trials with things like meals, social gatherings, and occasional rides. They can be reached at caringneighbors@vuu.org. On this 4th of July weekend, 3 days after the 4th of July, we celebrate a revolution that created a country organized by ethical and moral principles. Those ethical and moral principles are our guide as a congregation and as a people in these days of resistance. However, on this 4th of July weekend, we also recognized that we gather on the ancestral lands of the Akimel O'odham Pima people and who are the original stewards of the land in Maricopa County. We recognize the debt that we still owe to the indigenous peoples of this land. We're going to light the chalice, and Barbara will lead us in our chalice lighting words.
Let us say together the chalice lighting words. We kindle this flame, symbol of our faith, for the light of truth, the warmth of community, and the fire of love, which calls us to work for justice. Good morning. My name is Barbara, and I'm honored to be your service leader this morning. I've been away from this pulpit for a while, and it feels really good to be back. So thank you for being here. Yay. Our invitation to worship is by Saren Eileen Lawal. Seeking that which unites us. Spirit of life and love in this time of uncertainty, of fear and angst, our nation holds its collective breath. In this time, when rhetoric blusters about and words are used as weapons, our nation clenches its fists, tightens its shoulders, eyes squeezed shut. Some are preparing for a fight. May we remember, we are a people of resilience, We have faced uncertainty before. We have weathered storms. We have been consumed by flames. We have risen like the phoenix from the ashes, and we will again. We, the people. May we remember our shared humanity, our universal kinship, our interdependence, as we unclench our fists and breathe together, breathing in love, breathing out peace. May we recognize the spark of the divine inside all of us, even those we are not quite sure about. In this time of uncertainty, we remember the good will go on as we work together to move forward. We, the people, seeking that which unites us, with our arms reaching out wide for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. May love prevail. Blessed be.
I have a little word of intro. My planned co-song leader today, Lil Thompson, could not be here. She had a family emergency, so please hold her in your hearts. So I have called on my VUU Spirit Choir friends to help song lead today. They were only planning on doing 2 songs, and now they're doing everything. So please, I thank them from the bottom of my heart, as well as our instrumentalists who will be with us later, and Linda Horton on piano. So our opening hymn, Please Rise in Body or Spirit, is 1017, Building a New Way.
For our Time for All Ages today, we're going to be showing a video. If we have the young people would like to come up front, if you're willing. We're going to have a video called Have You Filled a Bucket Today? Hello. Come on up if you're willing. Hi, everyone.
Have you filled a bucket today? A Guide to Happiness for Kids by Carol McLeod. Creatively read and adapted by Miss Jill. All day long, everyone in the whole wide world walks around carrying an invisible bucket. Yeah, you can't see it, but it is there. You have a bucket. Your mom, your dad, they each have buckets. Your sister and brother have buckets too. Your grandparents, friends, and neighbors all have buckets. Everyone carries an invisible bucket. Your bucket has only one purpose. Its purpose is to hold your good thoughts and good feelings about yourself. You feel very happy and good when your bucket is full. And you feel very sad and lonely and angry when your bucket is empty. Other people feel the same way too. They're happy when their buckets are full, and they're sad when their buckets are empty. It's great to have a full bucket, and this is how it works. You need others to fill your bucket, and other people need you to fill theirs. So, how do you become a bucket filler? You fill a bucket when you show love to somebody, when you say or do something kind, or even when you give somebody a smile. That's being a bucket filler. A bucket filler is a loving, caring person who says or does nice things that makes other people feel special. When you make somebody feel special, you are filling a bucket. But you can also dip into a bucket and take out some good feelings. You dip into a bucket when you make fun of somebody, or when you say mean things, or even when you ignore somebody. That's being a bucket dipper. A bully is a bucket dipper. A bucket dipper says or does mean things that make other people feel bad. You know, many bucket dippers have an empty bucket themselves. They think that they can fill their own bucket by dipping into somebody else's. But that will never work. But guess what? When you fill somebody's bucket, your bucket gets filled too. You feel good when you help others feel good. All day long, we're either filling up or dipping into each other's buckets by what we say or do. Try to fill a bucket and see what happens. You love your mom and dad, so why not tell them that you love them? You can even tell them why. Your caring words will fill their buckets right up. Watch for smiles to lighten their faces. A smile's a good clue that you have filled a bucket. If you practice, you'll become a great bucket filler. Just remember that everyone carries an invisible bucket, and think of what you can do or say to fill it. Here are some ideas for you. You could smile and say hi to the bus driver. They have a bucket. You could invite the new kid at school to play with you or sit by you. They have a bucket. You could write a thank you note to your teacher. They have buckets. Bucket filling is fun and easy to do. It doesn't matter how young or old you are, and it doesn't cost any money. It doesn't take much time either. And remember, when you fill someone else's bucket, you fill your own bucket too. So why not decide to be a bucket filler today and every day? Just start each day by saying to yourself, I'm going to do something to fill somebody's bucket today. And at the end of each day, ask yourself, did I fill a bucket today? Yes, I did. And that's the life of a bucket filler.
So kids, you're going to have a game day today. So if you want to go out of the sanctuary, we'll have some people lead you over to the RE area where you're going to play games today. And for our Lights of Love song, we're going to be having our VUU Spirit Choir do the song Ain't Gonna Let Nobody Turn Me Round.
Please rise in body or spirit.
we're going to switch gears. Whew. It's time for centering. And our centering reading to help us get there is by Jamila Batchelder and Molly Hausch-Gordon. The strength of water. The strength of water takes on many, many forms, just as each of you has a unique and necessary strength that you bring to our community and to the work of love. Take a moment now to drop into the deep wellspring of your own spirit and bathe yourself in the strength that is the groundwater of your person. Are you a roaring fall, wearing rock away with sheer force of will? Are you a tiny drop of water in a crevice, breaking it open slightly, steadily? Are you buoyant, like a great salt lake, practiced at holding others aloft? Are you tenacious, like the mountain stream, finding your way down and around every obstacle you face? Are you still and calm, like the pond at daybreak, offering radiant peace by your shores? Are you in touch with hidden depths pulling from a vast well? Do you soothe like the stream, like the steam rising from a cup of tea? Do you dissolve away stubborn muck like water left in a pot to soak? Do you soften and smooth the edges like a creeping fog? Do you clear away distraction like a cleansing rain? Do you roll with the ebb and flow of the ocean waves? Settle your mind upon the strength, the power that is yours. Draw that strength into your heart. Draw it up into your soul as we gather together the many waters of this community. We need each of your power, each of your resilience, each of your love to make us whole. And now, at this time, if you are so moved, please feel free to engage one of the meditation rituals available here in the sanctuary, including the water fountain, the sand and pebbles, or writing in the book, or sitting in meditation.
Our centering hymn is number 170 in the gray hymnal. We are a gentle, angry people. Holly Near wrote this when Harvey Milk was assassinated, and there was nearly a riot in San Francisco. This was in the 70s. She wrote this on the spot to kind of calm down the crowd. So hold that thought in your heart as we sing.
Thank you for that music. Today, Barbara's sermon is Resilient is a Verb, a UU theology of resilience. One of the benefits of being a worship associate is that I get to read the sermon before it is given. And Barbara's sermon is important because among its messages is that our faith, our congregation, has been called into action. And although we are being called into action now, this is not the first time this congregation or people of Unitarian Universalism as a faith have been called into action. We were called into action in the 1770s to create a country founded on the principle in the Declaration of Independence that all people are created equal, in the movement and war to abolish slavery, in the labor movement in the early 1900s, in the movement for desegregation and civil rights, in the century-long campaign for women's rights, which is a struggle even today, in the Vietnam War, in the moral and political struggle for the right of people to love who they love, in the struggle for the rights of transgender people, in the environmental movement. We have been called upon time and time again, and just like those of us who have attended protests in the recent months, we show up. But it is not easy work. It takes something from us. Reading Barbara's sermon, I thought, whose story of resilience can I discuss to help introduce Barbara's ideas and themes? I didn't think very long before I settled on Ruby Bridges. I had general familiarity with Ruby Bridges. I knew her from the photographs of her that were dated November 14, 1960, which in historical time is not that long ago, the day she was escorted into William Frantz Elementary School in New Orleans. I knew that on that day in 1960, Ruby was 6 years old. Let me stop there. Ruby Bridges was 6 years old when this photograph was taken. Walking into school that day, she was escorted by 4 federal law enforcement officers past an angry mob screaming at her, a child. One of the raving members of the crowd held a makeshift coffin with a black baby doll in it. A 6-year-old doesn't make the decision for herself where to go to school. The child's parents make that decision. In this case, Ruby's parents, Abin and Lucille Bridges, agreed to a request by the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People to enroll Ruby at William Frantz Elementary as part of the national movement for desegregation of public schools. The landmark United States Supreme Court decision, Brown versus Topeka Board of Education, had been decided in 1954, the same year Ruby was born. Ruby's parents were also punished for their decision. Both of them lost their jobs the year that they enrolled Ruby. The NAACP provided support to the family. In her first year at William Frantz Elementary, the teachers refused to teach Ruby, all but one teacher, Barbara Henry. Ruby was the only child of African heritage enrolled that first year. She didn't miss a day of school. The rioters relented the next year. Their anger wore out, and Ruby was in a normal-sized class with a few more black students joining her. And by the time she graduated from high school, desegregation of public schools had been accomplished, at least the form of segregation that were created by Jim Crow laws. Ruby Bridges is now in her 70s, living in New Orleans. Her home was destroyed by Hurricane Katrina in 2005. She led the effort to secure historical status for William Frantz Elementary so the school could be built after the hurricane. It seems like the wrong thing to say, be like Ruby. That may be too much to ask of ourselves. And it places too much of a burden on Ruby Bridges to be the example of resilience for the rest of us. 6-year-old Ruby Bridges was placed in a position. She was called upon, just as all of us feel called upon in these times to do what we can do. Instead, think of this image as a metaphor of resilience. What do you see of yourself in this image? Imagine your own childlike resilience in these difficult times. Meditate into it. It is in you. It is in all of us. A childlike resilience is something that we all have in ourselves. In these troubled times, it is what will give us the will to resist, to defend, and to overcome. Second Parish of Roxbury, Massachusetts is now the Theodore Parker Church, a Unitarian Universalist church in West Roxbury, Massachusetts. Parker's 1852 sermon, Justice and the Conscience, was the source of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King's phrase from Dr. King's 1965 "How long, not long" speech at the end of the Selma to Montgomery March. The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. Dr. King paraphrased Reverend Parker. These are the words from Reverend Parker's 1852 sermon. Look at the facts of the world. You see a continual and progressive triumph of the right. I do not pretend to understand the moral universe. The arc is a long one. My eye reaches but little ways. I cannot calculate the curve and complete the figure by the experience of sight. I can divine it by conscience. From what I see, I am sure it bends toward justice. Things refuse to be mismanaged long. Ere long, all America will tremble. It is that last line that catches my attention. Ere long, America will tremble. We are called upon, as were those who came before us in this faith of Unitarian Universalism. It is not easy work. It will take resilience. But with our efforts and the efforts of like-minded progressives, we will bend the arc back. May it be so.
Resilience is about pushing through life's hardships, even when you don't want to or you feel like you can't. It's about getting through whatever obstacles life throws at you with grace and dignity.
To me, resiliency is the ability to keep your head up when things aren't looking great. And it's knowing that tomorrow is a new day and it's a new opportunity.
Having the courage to sit in the uncertainty of life.
Having the ability and strength to overcome the trials and tribulations that you may face.
Resilience means the ability to be flexible and adapt.
To me, resilience means persevering even through obstacles or difficult times, and it's having the mindset that you can always improve and do better.
Overcoming life's challenges and coming back from those challenges as a stronger individual.
Being resilient means going through a hard time and a hard process, and I think it's very important for us to share that with other people.
Through storytelling and sharing experiences, people can then be built up in that way. So for example, if I hear a story of somebody else being resilient, or I could see somebody really exemplifying that, if I was to catch myself in a similar situation or helping somebody going through something like that, I have something to draw on. And so just kind of drawing on each other's experiences and building each other up through storytelling is really important.
Being able to talk to people, being able to embrace that vulnerability that everybody has is something that is extremely crucial, especially when enduring the hardships that everybody endures in that unique manner as well.
Sharing your story can help other people, and hearing from others can also teach you new ways to cope with your challenges.
When we have authentic conversations about what's going on in our lives, we can help support one another better and build stronger selves and community.
Because if we don't talk about it, then we can never bond over things, we can never work through problems, and the problem just gets worse. So a great way to combat that is simply talking about it.
We need to talk about it to show people that it's an actual thing that they can manifest in their lives, and that they can do it through simple practices that we teach at Rise.
I love to do like physical activities. It kind of is like a meditation device for me.
I really try to journal every night and then throughout my day if there's something really weighing on me.
Mindfulness is about grounding and recentering yourself and paying attention to the present moment without judgment.
If anything, I would say resilience is a mindset that prepares you in the case of a challenge.
It's okay to not be okay. And talking with people helps you understand that even though you might not feel great now, that there will be a time where you do, and things will look much brighter.
Life will never get easier or be easy, but as long as we have the tools that we can get through anything, we can achieve the lives we want to live.
Well, happy 4th of July. Okay, I'll say it again. Happy Independence Day. Woohoo! Join me. Happy Independence Day. I'll begin my sermon, as I did for many years, with perhaps the most famous excerpt from the Declaration of Independence. Feel free to follow along if you know it. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive to these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Yes. At no time in my life have these words been so challenged. At no time in my life have human rights, including civil rights, women's rights, LGBTQIA rights, immigrant rights, to list a few, been more challenged. At no time in my life has democracy been more challenged. Even the Constitution appears up for grabs. I'm fearful, I'm sad, I'm angry, I am heartbroken, but I am not broken. My message to you today is a small one, comes from my heart. We cannot allow ourselves to be broken. That said, dear friends, how is it with your soul? I ask because I'm concerned about each and every one of you. We're living in times that can take a toll on our spirits. Times we could not have foreseen given our UU commitment to democratic ideals. I ask again, how is it with your soul? Because these times are serious for the future of democracy in our country. And as a result, our country needs us. Let me say that again, our country needs us. Because, as we just sang in Holly Near's song, that has become a UU anthem, we are a gentle, angry people. And yes, this country needs gentle, angry people. And Lynn and I plan to have this song in the service today before his name, Mr. Harvey Milk's name, was stripped from the ship. But it wasn't a political act, they said. To show up, though, we must care for ourselves. We are being called upon right now to help sustain this democracy. So, friends, how is it with your soul, your body, and your mind? How are you caring for yourself so you can show up for all the justice work? It's my hope today to help you reflect on these questions, because this service is a call to consider resilience not as a selfish act, but as a spiritual practice. It's a call to focus on getting and staying strong so that we can keep on keeping on through the long haul of this administration and beyond. In defiance of the Star Trek cyborg claim, resistance is not futile. In fact, it is necessary, and it can be exhausting. That's why we need each of us as individuals to practice resilience in the form of self-care, so we can nurture one another as a community. So this is a radical proposal, because they want us to give up, shut up, and sit down. Practicing resilience, therefore, is a spiritual theology, a uniquely UU theology. The practices, though few, that I outlined today are for you personally and for all of us collectively here at VUU. I'll share a story. My father worked for one company his entire adult life. One day, he arrived to find his manager sitting behind his desk. All his belongings, including the crocheted flag his mother, my grandmother, had made for him, were boxed up outside the door. "What's going on?" my father asked. "There's been a reorganization, and you're no longer in charge here. Your things are in those boxes." "But what's my role?" my dad asked, incredulous. "We haven't decided," came the reply. And so began his journey. He fought for his rights, but this was the 1980s, and support was limited. Eventually, he carved out a corner office up the back stairs in what was little more than a crawl space. Though they continued to pay him, he no longer had a meaningful role. It was a crushing blow to his long career. Later, they gave him a choice. He could quit, or he could take an outside sales job completely unrelated to his knowledge, skills, and experience. He chose the latter, finishing his career doing work that was unsatisfied. He never complained. Only years later, when asked, he said simply, "Yeah, it was a difficult time, and my golf game was never the same, but I don't know why." And we just heard young people, students at Pepperdine University, give their definitions of resilience. So wise and profound for one so young. We all have some sense of it, resilience, that it's the ability to recover from situations we perceive as difficult. I say perceive because hardship looks different to each of us. And yes, resilience is recovering and returning to balance. While some people may seem naturally able to bounce back, resilience is also a skill. It's a practice we can learn and strengthen. It sounds simple, but in real life, it requires self-knowledge, self-care, and the power of will. This is where resilience becomes theological. In her essay, Resilient, VUU, Evan Carville Zimmer writes, resilient shouldn't be a noun. It should be a verb, a thing we do. Are we resilient? I don't know. Are we taking the time we need to feel what we feel? To reconnect with others in an intentional way that honors the time we need? Will we burn ourselves out? I'm looking at all y'all here. Or take time to play and tell stories? Will we support our leaders in ways that allow them to be resilient? Will we give children the grace to act younger, the space to show their feelings? End quote. Religious traditions often equate resilience with faith. Faith in a divine source, a higher power, if you will. The thought is that faith brings strength to overcome obstacles. Now, I don't have such a relationship with divinity, and yet I have found hope in understanding resilience as a practice. I'm intrigued by the idea that resilience is something we do, not something we necessarily have. Elevating resilience to a spiritual practice means being mindful of our health, physical, emotional, and mental, and putting ourselves first in a way that is both loving and strong. As VUUs, we may not believe in a resurrection that promises eternal life. Instead, we focus on making this world better in our lives for all people. Even though the arc of justice moves so slowly that it may seem imperceptible, like Sisyphus, we keep moving the rock up the hill. So, there is wisdom in the instructions at the start of every flight. Put your oxygen mask on first. This is more than safety advice. It's a metaphorical reminder that if you don't care for yourself, you cannot care for anyone else. In step with resilience comes resistance. We cannot sustain resistance without the energy to do the work. So I'm begging you, put your oxygen mask on first. You won't be able to help if you're incapacitated. Now, the ways to practice putting your mask on first are simple, done intentionally. It first includes daily movement. Move your body in whatever way works for you. It doesn't need to be big. It can be an intentional walk around the block, focused on your feet on the pavement, your breath, your swinging arms. For your spirit, read something every day that inspires you to consider the mysterious, not the political. We all love Heather Cox Richardson, but sometimes you just have to put her down. Perhaps for you, it is poetry as it is for me, or journaling, or creating something beautiful, if even a salad. Anything that inspires your awe will work to set your mind free from current events. For your mind, find time every day to exercise it. I know from your Facebook shares that many of you do Wordle, and I'm looking at you. And good for you. Keep it up. You're exercising your mind. There are so many ways to put your oxygen mask on first, and the key to doing it is with intention and to do it every day. Now, a few months after my father died, I answered a call forwarded from his old phone number. "I'm calling for Nolan Face," the caller said. "Yes," I replied. "This was my father's number. Who's this?" "Well, I'm his old friend, Dennis Mitchell." I explained that my father had died peacefully and that we were grateful. Mr. Mitchell sighed and said something I won't forget. "Your father was the most loyal person I have ever known." We all heard what happened at McKesson. They pulled it all out from under him, yet he never spoke badly about it. It was truly amazing. It made me look at my own behavior. My father demonstrated resilience in the face of crushing betrayal, but he didn't take it personally. He refused to quit, which forced them to find him a new role, and he did it with dignity until he could retire. He never received a farewell party or the promised watch, not promised anymore, but back then. But he maintained his self-respect. Until that conversation, I had carried resentment for how he'd been treated and that he didn't fight harder. But now I see it differently, my father's quiet resilience. He had a demanding job and 4 kids, but he also, over the years, had practiced self-care through his hobbies that included golfing, fishing, and hunting. Not much cleaning, but there you go. As a result, he had a resilient foundation so that when his job fell apart, he didn't fall apart. His golf game suffered for a time, but not his soul. So resilience isn't about toughing it out or smiling through every setback. Resilient people still feel sadness, anger, and frustration, but they move forward with creativity, hope, intention, and yes, joy. They ask for help. They lean on family, professionals, and communities like VUU. At VUU, we are that circle of care, helping each other put on our oxygen masks. Our personal resilience grows out to the connections we form here, connections that sustain us, from our VUU community to the other organizations we serve, iHelp, VIP, and beyond. These bonds are where we find our strength. So when we commit to our own self-care, we make resilience possible for everyone. That includes caring for one another, creating opportunities to add to the greater good, and practicing learned resilience together. If we as individuals cultivate resilience, we gain awareness. We learn to manage our emotions, recognize our power to create change, and build on past successes. When we do this, resilience radiates out into our sacred community. So let's commit to practicing resilient so we can be present for each other and for the work that still lies ahead. Reverend Ashley Horan writes, "You are loved beyond belief. You are enough. You are precious. Your work and your life matter, and you are not alone. You are part of a we, a great cloud of witnesses, living and dead, who have insisted that this beautiful, broken world is a blessing worthy of both deep gratitude and fierce protection. Our ancestors and our descendants beckon us onward toward greater connection, greater compassion, greater commitment, Together, we are resilient enough to say yes to that call and to make our life's work in 1,000 ways, knowing we can do no other than to bind ourselves together and throw ourselves into the holy work of showing up again and again to build the world we dream of, even if we haven't yet seen it. End quote. So, dear friends, how is it with your soul? Thank you.
I've said this before, but Valley Unitarian Universalist Congregation has been a congregation now for 60 years. That is a long time for a congregation to survive and to continue operating. We are here because of the efforts of the organizers and the efforts of people that we have lost. We intend and hope to one day have a history like the Theodore Parker Church, built in the 1700s, and to continue our commitment for justice and equality and the dignity of all people for centuries. We do that through your commitment of time and energy, and we also do that through your commitment of financial generosity. The ushers will now take up the offering.
As you can, as the ushers come by, we would like you to rise in body or spirit and sing along with us. We'll have the chorus words up there and move back and forth. The song is called Resilience, so I want you to feel resilient as you sing and move to this as you can.
Resilience, we are strong, shoulder to shoulder.
Our closing words are by James Galasinski. Faith like a light. Our faith, like a light, illuminates the path before us so that we can face hurt with love, cultivate compassion, live humbly in community, and confront despair with the awe of life. Though our flame is extinguished, our faith shines bright before us. This is my favorite song coming up.
Please rise. It's 1028 in the teal hymnal, Fire of Commitment. Much better can it get than that. So please rise in body or spirit as we sing.